Tap.
Good morning. 8 o'clock on the dot. So I'm going to call the meeting to order. We have a lot of scurrying going around up here this morning, but I think we're ready. So Chairman Vance Smith, if you'll open us with a prayer.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Lord, thank you again. We thank you each morning. We should do it each hour for all the blessings you've given us. And we ask you every day to be with our family members that are at home, filling in for us there, keep them safe with our children and our grandchildren. Give us wisdom, Lord. Help us to remain patient and just follow your lead. And help us to do the right thing and your will for the citizens of the state of Georgia. And all these things we ask in your name. Amen.
Amen. Good morning, everyone. So we'll begin our meeting with a report from the subcommittee chaired by Vance Smith.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Yes, ma'am, we had a subcommittee meeting and we passed out two bills, HB 53 and HB 165, and we'd report that back, due pass to the full committee.
Thank you for that report. A little bit of housekeeping here. I've had a request from the author of House Bill 53 to withdraw it from the full committee and go back to subcommittee for him to make a change. So if time permitting this morning, we can actually go into that subcommittee meeting after we do our full committee meeting. So in your folders, just pull out House Bill 53 and hold on to it, because we can take that up again in subcommittee. We mainly do most of our work in our subcommittees. And so now, this morning, we have House Bill 165, and the author of the bill is sitting in front of us, ready to present her bill. Is it your first bill? I didn't say that. Okay. Take it back.
Thank you. Good morning. Thank you, Chairman and members. I appreciate the opportunity to talk to you about House Bill 165. Joining me today is Jeff Cowan. He is the Director of State Parks and Historical Sites for the Department of Natural Resources. HB 165 is a simple cleanup bill. It's been requested by the Department of Natural Resources to address an oversight in previous legislation. In 2020, the Historical Preservation Division was transferred from the Department of Natural Resources to the Department of Community Affairs. In that transfer, a GORE exemption for sensitive historical and archaeological records was moved from the Department of Natural Resources to the Department of Community Affairs. However, the Department of Natural Resources still houses the Office of State Archaeologists. That's where our historical sites, our Native American burial grounds, cemeteries, they're all housed in there. So this bill would simply restore that exemption to ensure sensitive archaeological sites continue to be protected. And that is the bill.
Thank you. If any of our committee members have questions, now is the time to ask the bill presenter any questions. I see one from 29. State your name. With question.
This is Representative Pergol. Just at the appropriate moment, Madam Chair, I reserve my time to question for the floor debate.
That's scary.
Just at the appropriate time.
So there are no questions in from the committee? All right, Chair recognizes you for a motion. Pardon me. You wanted it for the floor debate. Oh, you were in subcommittee. Good morning. Huh? All right, so we have a first and second, and now we are moving to our wide awake but not quite alert committee member. Go ahead and state your question. I wasn't quite
Madam
alert.
Chair, no offense, I do have the chair of ethics sitting beside me. And maybe I was not clear, but I did want to have at the proper time to do pass. But I wanted to reserve the questions I had for floor debate on this bill. But thank you so much, Madam Chair.
And so I'm almost afraid to ask this. Are there any additional comments or questions from our committee? Okay, I have a motion and a second. No further questions from our committee members, so I will ask for the ayes and nays. All those in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? Nay? You have your first bill, and I would do my homework with one particular legislator up here. Thank you.
We need to have we need to have a meeting.
To all of you who present bills to our committee and to any committee, your next process is to go to the Rules Committee and get out a form. Did you hear that, Representative? You have your form. So, and then my process is to sign off on that, but so now the new process is your chair of the committee that your bill comes from has to sign her request form for rules. So that's a little additional step. So any further business before this committee? So I am going to adjourn this full committee, but I ask our members to stay in their seats. Chair adjourns the committee. To chair of our subcommittee, you now have a bill that's been returned to your subcommittee, and we'll ask for the author to present the bill and to explain the need for changes. And so the chair has a question based on information. So we're talking about House Bill 53. What do my members have before them? Do they have the original bill that you presented and the substitute?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so will you explain to your committee the one you're correcting and then refer us to the actual new substitute by your LC numbers?
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the committee. The original bill was House Bill 53, LC 510212. We have a substitute this morning, LC 5103333S. Does everybody have that? Is that the correct? Madam Chair, after the meeting the other day, the only opposition to the bill was brought up possibly the $90,000 that it was going to cost for the Forestry Commission to be able to administer this oversight of this board. So we put that. If you look at Section 3, the only change to the bill is on line 64, where we established the rate that the foresters would pay everybody, $200, and that would cover. There's 912, I think, registered foresters. At $100 a year, that's going to generate over the $90,000 to cover the cost of doing this, and that I think answers the question. We have it in code to. So we have that. It was going to be by just understanding with the board that they were going to do that, but we actually codified that, and that answers the only opposition we had the other day. And that's the only change to the bill. And we also tied it to the Consumer Price Index, where it automatically increases based on CPI, so we don't have to come back 10 years from now and adjust this. It automatically adjusts, so we don't have to come back and look at it.
All right. Thank you, Chairman Corbett. Let's ask anybody in the audience first. Members, y'all be thinking about any questions you might have, but we've had this discussion, and with this slight change, is there anybody that'd like to make a comment, public comment in the audience? Okay. How about members? Okay. Hold on. I'll get to you in just a second. Anybody have any questions? I know some of you were in the subcommittee and we discussed this, and that did come up. And it seems like you're taking care of that. It'll be a wash on that with that increase. So, all right. I'll recognize. Show of hands of who's on that subcommittee. Who was there the other day? There you go. Almost everybody in here. So, that's good. That's good. So we've had a good input and good discussion. This time I'd like to call on Representative Wiedeyer.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to pass.
Okay. All right, we got a motion and a second. Any discussion? Anything you thought of the last few minutes? If not, I'll call the question. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Bill does pass.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. That's all the agenda for the subcommittee, so we'll be closed.
All right, and to the full committee, this bill will be on the full committee's calendar the next time we meet. So, just wanted to let you know, we have to follow our process of our committee. So, I'm glad we had some time this morning. We're able to accommodate that subcommittee hearing. We stand adjourned. To those listening, always, or watching, or in the hallways, always check our board outside and be on the alert for messages. Thank you.